All right, so it's been a crazy week out there in NFL land. The Kansas City Chiefs had a terrible year this year. They went 6-11, and they hence why Andy Reid is firing all of his assistant coaches outside of Dave Tope. Dave Tope, the special teams coach, was terrible this year. Still has a job. And if I was as bad at Dave Tobe and if I was as bad at my job as Dave Tobe as at his this year, I would have been fired. And you know what? I was. So, that's Andy's loyalty for you, man. That's Andy's loyalty, but hey, we'll let that go. We'll see what he can do next year. But they're bringing in new blood in Kansas City, and they're bringing in new blood in Buffalo because the Buffalo Bills fired their coach, the second most successful coach outside of Marv Levy in the history of the Bills franchise, and they promoted Brandon Beane, the GM, who has assembled a roster. And whatever you do, don't look at his draft picks the last few years. And we'll get into one specific one that the owner didn't. but not necessarily hitting on all of his draft picks. Maybe there was a lot of he said stuff, a lot of politicking going on in there. But we'll see. The Bills had a press conference with the owner, Pagula, and the GM, Brandon Beane, to address this.
My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver.
Interesting.
I want to take you in the locker room after that game.
Okay.
I looked around. First thing I noticed was our quarterback with his head down, crying. I looked at all the other players. I looked at their faces and our coaches. I walked over to Josh. He didn't even acknowledge I was there. First thing I said to him, I said, "That was a catch." We all know what I'm talking about. He didn't acknowledge me. He just sat there sobbing. He was listless. Mm-hmm. He had given everything he had.
Well, not everything.
To try to win that game.
He gave up a lot of turnovers.
And looking around, so did all the other players on the team.
Uh-huh.
I saw the pain in Josh's face at his presser.
Okay.
And I felt his pain.
Ooh, Bill Clinton.
I know we can do better, and I know we will get better.
So he fired him because he cried? The quarterback was crying?
I want to express my confidence.
Wait. He fired him because he saw Josh Allen crying in the locker room. Josh Allen crying. Legend. God. So, the players crying in the locker room got rid of Sean McDermott because... What a franchise. All right, let's keep going.
About our franchise. Does anyone know what the numbers 523, 2226 represent?
Is that the Powerball?
I'm asking a question.
Yeah, no.
No? That's our seeding over the last 7 years in the playoffs. 5, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 6.
Okay.
An organization doesn't carry that kind of record without being a great organization and without having great players.
Mediocrity, I think, yeah.
It's impossible to have that kind of results without having a good roster.
And a good coach.
I hear it from my counterparts at league meetings.
That you're never going to win.
A lot of them talk.
I'll turn over to questions for Terry or myself.
Hey, Terry, you mentioned that you thought it was a catch and you told Josh it was a catch. why would you fire a coach based on a bad officiating decision?
Well, yeah, makes sense.
I did not fire a coach based on a bad officiating decision.
Well, you just said you fired him after the game. But
If I can take you into that locker room,
Okay.
I felt like we hit the proverbial playoff wall, year after year. 13 seconds,
Well, Coach Heath.
missed field goals.
Well, that's not the coach's fault.
The catch.
Well, that's not the coach's fault.
So I just sensed in that locker room, like, where do we go from here
You
with
can
what
go
we
down.
have?
Terry, given the fact
Part
that
of the GM.
Brandon was promoted, and congrats on that, and Sean was fired, both played a role in the success and failure of this
Yes.
franchise.
What a
What came down to one over the other, or was it that easy?
nice.
Like I just said, I believe it was, where does the leadership of the team on the field and in the locker room, where we go from that moment, which, another playoff failure. And that's why I decided that Sean had to leave.
Terry, how far before the playoff game had you maybe started thinking about this being a possibility?
After the playoff game, in the locker room.
Then you blame the catch because
I
you
need
saw
to
them crying?
keep saying that. I keep saying it.
It
was
because they were crying.
feeling the moment,
Because the players are crying.
being there, being there.
God.
In the free agent market, and then obviously with the Keon Coleman signing, which hasn't worked out, how do you answer the fact that you have not given Josh a good enough wide receiver room?
Take notes, Chiefs. Take notes,
Yeah,
Chiefs.
I
reporters.
interrupt.
Good God.
I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice.
Wow.
That was
That
Brandon
guy's
being
still
a
on the
team
team.
player,
Keon
and taking
Coleman's still on the
advice
team.
of his coaching staff,
This is a mess.
who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
Okay. Pause. He just threw his coach, the old coach, under the bus. He threw his wide receiver. He took some strays that probably just sitting there eating breakfast. Just sitting there eating breakfast, taking strays for no reason. No reason. The guy's on the team. I don't. What? What an owner, man. All right, let's continue on here.
I worked 19 seasons starting as an intern in Carolina
Okay.
and worked my way up. I came here and I've never tried to do that. I would love for anyone who's making that accusation to walk in these doors and ask any person, player, coach, trainer, anyone. Like, people can disagree with draft picks that I make or people I sign
Well,
or
yeah,
I
they've been
screwed up
bad.
the wide receivers, whatever it is.
They've been bad. What they
Like,
used to
those
the
are
coaches.
harmful things that, I walk in the door and my wife's got tears coming down her face
Oh, we're talking
for
about
stuff
crying
like
again?
that. And I'm gonna damn try hard to win a Super Bowl here. I am.
Okay.
But for somebody to question my character
Oh, here we go.
like that, it is BS.
Well,
And I've never done that. If you'll remember, in 2023,
there's only
there was an
one
article
reason
written on
you
Sean.
kept your job and he did not. Okay, so it seems to me, first off, great questions from the reporters. Way to challenge the GM and the owner of the Bills. I wish that the Chiefs did that with Andy Reid, but they don't. They just kind of sniff his butt. So here's one. The reporter asked, "What is the issues, and why weren't they able to get over the hump this year?" And let's see what Brandon Beane says.
and led to the group falling short of that?
I mean, Jay.
A bad call.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, I would say we went to Jacksonville and we won. A good team.
And led.
Okay, so the owner fired the coach after the game, and then he blamed the loss of that game on a bad call. Why in the world would you fire a coach and based off of a bad call from the referee? And he said that this decision was made after the game, after he saw Josh Allen crying in the locker room. Just a disaster of a press conference from the Bills. Having said that, the content's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm glad they did this. I'm glad the Chiefs have a boring owner like the Hunts, who kind of just stay out of the way and don't really say anything stupid. And these guys, the Bills, I mean, Brandon Beane, you can't tell me he wasn't playing politics. I mean, there's no reason he should keep his job if McDermott's going to get fired. It doesn't make any sense. And essentially, that's what every reporter was alluding to during this 1 hour press conference. Why they decided to have 1 hour press conference, I don't know. It was a terrible media decision, but also hilarious. So, as much as I complain about Andy Reid and the Chiefs, they still went to 5 Super Bowls and won 3 of them so far. And so, yes, they were 6-11 this year, but man, they're not nearly as dysfunctional as the Bills franchise. That was a disaster class of a press conference from the owner, who was talking on both sides of his mouth. And there's video of him. I think they I don't know why they threw Keon Coleman under the bus, but there was video of Brandon Beane saying, yeah, I'm glad that he ran that time in the 40, because that way he's going to fall to us. I don't know. Receipts don't lie. So, man, the way they threw the coach and the receivers under the bus is very telling. And it makes me wonder who would want to play for that organization. If I'm Josh Allen, I'm out. I'm seeing how long old Matt Stafford has in Los Angeles, and then I'm gonna try to talk to McVay and try to get there, because this franchise is dysfunctional from the owner down.